Good morning. John Gilkison, Aerostealth here. It is Monday, October 30th, 2023. And it's been a little while since I've shot a video. But in my defense, I had an operation recently where they went into the veins in my leg and up into my heart and performed what they call an ablation. The operation was successful in that they've apparently gotten rid of my AFib. However, in a follow-up visit to my doctor this last Friday, he said there still was remaining a beat in my heart in the lower chamber, where it's stumbling over itself, so to speak. A flutter, that's the word I was trying to think of. A flutter. And he wants to try to treat that again with a second procedure, which they've already performed last June, and it's called a cardioversion. And basically that's where they shock the heart and it stops beating, it stops operating for a short while, and then they restart it with the hope that everything's back in sync. And they hope to get rid of that flutter that way. I'm skeptical, but I don't have a lot of other options, so I am feeling better though. First week out of the hospital was kind of rough. I just had no energy, and now my energy's beginning to come back, so here we are. I just wrote a new blog called The Apocalypse Has Arrived, and this was basically over my concerns about seeing what happened to Alcapulco when Hurricane Otis just made landfall dead center on this city of about 1 million people. And the night before, everyone went to bed there, and it was a Category 1 hurricane with, let's say, 60-mile-an-hour winds. And it was at 3 a.m. when it made landfall. It was a Category 5 with 165-mile-an-hour winds. And of course, the storm was larger when it was Cat 1, and it shrunk as it intensified, like a skater, as they say, pulling in their arms and so forth. So it spun up a lot more energy, and it got that energy from the warm ocean temps just offshore, which are everywhere now. Just offshore is shallower water, warmer ocean temps. Anyway, it just devastated Alcapulco. And to me, it was reminiscent of when we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. I mean, the devastation's so complete that it's hard to get news out of a city like that. There's no power, water everywhere. The power poles are all gone. They're just laying on the ground. And as I noted in my blog, apparently from the video images I was seeing, there's still quite a few light pole standards. I guess they're built to a higher standard. But anyway, we do have our priorities. So, and we're seeing images of 6, 8-story tall buildings, condos and motels and so forth. Just no windows. 95% of the windows just gone. And, it's just not good. And then, of course, Mexican authorities saying, well, reporting 27 deaths. Well, that's a laugher. I don't even know where they got such a figure. And why would they want to promulgate such a figure if it's off by a factor of 10 or more? Want to put everybody at ease so we don't send any aid in to help or what? But anyway, I haven't heard much about it since then, really. Which is what I find the most concerning thing. It's even become a little bit fashionable nowadays to mention the word climate change on the news media in the United States. And yet, when it comes to reporting on this storm, which wiped out a city of 1 million people, you hear very little. So, but, I've kept up on the latest. Taylor Swift is attending the Kansas City football games to see her new boyfriend, Kelsey, who's married, by the way, but that's an inconvenient fact. I guess Taylor Swift and the wife get along fairly well. They have a common interest. This is a lot more important news. Also, nobody's reporting on Ted Cruz, the senator from Texas. Last year, he was vacationing in Cancun and Alcapulco and so forth in the winter, where's he going to go? I mean, if you can't go to Acapulco and the city's wiped out, where's he going to vacation? I think this is a big story the news media is completely missing. So, and when you tie all this in, this hurricane, in my mind, is in the background of another story, and that's both General Motors and Ford have announced big delays in their EV adoption plans, the building out of battery factories, the building out of plants to produce EVs, and so forth. And this is really bad news. It's bad news for the American consumer. It's bad news for the American taxpayer. It's bad news for General Motors and Ford and their stockholders, because these companies are literally driving the nails in their own coffins. They should have been on a fast track to adopt EV production, switch over from internal combustion engine to electric vehicles 5 years ago. And then now, finally, when they were just getting ready supposedly to start rolling, they delay, cancel plans for a couple years. And this is all of their own making. If they can't make a profit making and selling EVs, it's because they're doing it wrong. They need to figure this out, and they're not going to figure it out by canceling all their plans and working on figuring it out. So, the S-curve adoption rate for EVs worldwide is not going to wait on General Motors or Ford. In the United States, if they want to be a backwater, they can go ahead and be one, but we will rapidly become a third world toilet, as ex-President Trump would like to call such countries. What else we got here? So on a personal note, I was considering a couple years out buying a Chevy Equinox EV from General Motors. Now, I don't know whether such a thing's going to exist in 2025 or not. I have no idea. So I needed a plan B. So I started looking at the Hyundai Ioniq 5s again. Now, as a brand new car, it's not one I can quite afford. It's a $45,000, $55,000 car. However, a lot of them are leased. They come off leases after a couple years with a discount of $10,000 to $15,000. And that is a car I could afford. Even if it had 20,000 miles on it, it's not going to make any difference to me because, number one, I'll have a sizable down of half or more of the price of the car. And I can finance the rest easily because that's a good bargain for a loan. It's a very safe loan if you're not underwater on the loan from day one. They like that. And so that's my consideration. Now I want to go test drive one because I never really have test driven one or ridden in one, and I'd like to do that just for grins. And then also while we were at Home Depot the other day, I started looking at and thinking about heat pump water heaters again, because we're going through a refi on the house. We're installing more solar. We're going to be up to 103% capacity on solar once we get this solar installation done. 12 panels, and to add to the 20 we have. And that so a heat pump, considering all of our other bills will be paid off, our short-term loans and so forth, and we could just use the cash out to buy one right up front. And 240 volt heat pump through Home Depot is $1,446. It's going to cost $650 to have a new 40 amp 240 volt circuit installed to service it. And by the time you're done with the installation cost and so forth, we're looking at about $2,500. However, these come with a 30% tax rebate on the cost, and that includes the cost of the upgrade to the service to install it, and that would net us a $628 tax rebate on a $2,500 unit, all in. So it would be less than $2,000 total to really install it. Of course, the solar is going to come with a magnificent tax rebate. So you never know. We may not do that water heater this year. I'm just trying to line up my ducks. But I probably will, because when we have the solar done, we're going to have a 200 amp service upgrade on our main panel. And this will make the work to install an extra 40 amp circuit for this water heater. And good time to do it. I may have it done whether I have the water heater installed or not. So anyway, what else we got here? I have a 40 amp circuit for charging our electric car. This might be a good time to upgrade it also to a 60 amp circuit. In other words, pull the old circuit out. Wouldn't want to just strand those wires or keep them, and just install a 60 amp service. And what that would allow me to do is, even if I had ended up being a 2 EV family, with a splitter we could charge both of them, 30 amps each, or 40, whatever. You'd charge one and the other. And with a splitter you wouldn't have to plug or unplug anything. So that'd be good. And so that was my notes here, basically, is that we're getting up in years. I've had 3 surgeries in the last 4 months, and I told the doctor on this cardioversion, the second one he wants to order, that they really needed to wait till after the first of the year. And he was talking about the middle of December, and I said, no. First place, I'm just tired. I need a rest from surgeries. I need a break. And second, if they're going to kill me during the surgery, it probably wouldn't do to have them bump me off just before Christmas. Might put a damper on the rest of my family's holiday festivities. So I'm not joking. Anyway, after the first year is fine. We're going over to Tucson on November 9th, and I'll stay with a friend over there, Dave Esper, and I'm going to test ride a trike. And I'm taking my pickup truck so I can figure out whether the trike I want to buy will fit in the bed of the truck, or I can just fit it in the back end of the truck. Hopefully, I got 24-inch clearance space between it and the bed cover of the truck, and hopefully I can drive around with the bed cover down and the trike in the back of the truck. And that would be more secure. You'd not only be out of the wet elements and so forth, but you'd be able to lock it, and it wouldn't be, people from the outside wouldn't be seeing it. And I'm hoping to get an electric trike. My surgery on my hand, my left hand here, turned out pretty well. The carpal tunnel syndrome's mostly gone, and this taking the bone out of the base of my thumb has relieved a lot of the pain and stuff that I had with it. Now, I don't have full use of my thumb yet, as far as being able to put a lot of pressure on it. I can pick up a drink, for example, but I can't open jar lids yet. You know, I have to be careful. I still got some weeks of recovery yet, another month or so of recovery on this. But it's imperative, you know, I want to continue riding a bike, and I can't ride a standard safety bike where you set up and you lean forward and you put your upper body weight on your wrist and your arms and so forth. It's just too much for my wrist and my hands and so forth. And I actually need this basal bone surgery, where they remove this bone right here at the base of your thumb. I need it done on my right hand sometime in the near future, and I'm in no hurry for that. So riding a bike where I can, recumbent, where I can sit down, and a trike, a tadpole trike, and then you got your steering out there in front of you like steering in a car, and you're not resting your body weight on your hands and wrists and arms. I think it's going to make a big difference on my ability to ride a bike. And if I can electrify this bike, so much the better. It'll mean I'll ride the bike more. I can go greater distances. So that's all I got for you today. This is a little whimsical, I understand, but I think the apocalypse is here now. We're seeing it unroll in front of us like a slow motion train wreck of some sort. And it seems like the majority of our society is still asleep or in denial about it. And that's the way it is. Maybe that's the best, you know. If our human numbers are going to be wiped out, probably a lot better, a lot less screaming if less people are even aware it's going to happen. So let's keep it quiet in the park, right? Let's don't stampede the horses. So have a good week. Have a good rest of your year, everybody. We're looking forward to Thanksgiving dinner, and got some friends coming over for that, and our Christmas. So we'll see you on down the road. 2024 is right around the corner. So Happy New Year also. Bye-bye, everybody.